Hi, my name is Lim Mei Tong, and today I'll be presenting with my groupmates Evelyn. So the movie we have chosen is called Titanic, and its release date is on December 19, 1997, and it was re-released on April 4, 2012. The name of the director is called James Cameron, and it cost around 200 million USD for this movie. So the total running time of this movie is 194 minutes, and the genre of this movie includes romance, disaster, epic, and historical drama. So this whole movie tells the dramatic story of the Titanic with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet as the main actors. In the year 1912, a young poor guy named Jack travels by the gorgeous ship Titanic from London to New York with a big dream. And on board, he meets a fabulous, wealthy girl, which named Rose, and he falls in love with her as soon as he sees this gorgeous girl. However, after a few days, the ship hits an enormous iceberg, and the tragedy begins to unfold. The Titanic starts sinking. So this whole movie is very close to the real tragedy. It shows a beautiful love story with an extremely sad ending. The acting is first rate. Leonardo and Kate Winslet's performance is so brilliant that almost all the audience cried during the whole movie. The scenes was set in 1912, and the whole movie except the present day scenes and the opening and ending credits have a total length of 2 hours and 40 minutes, and the exact time it took for Titanic to sink. Titanic was shot at Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and Fox Baja Studios in Rosarito, Mexico. And of course, this film wasn't really filmed in the ocean, rather the water scenes were filmed in a giant pool known as Horizon Tank, which contained 17 million gallons of water. The tank is located at Mexico. So next, the costume designer of this movie is called Deborah Lynn Scott. She was born in 1954, and her inspiration for the costume design for the whole movie Titanic is from the Pigeon Forge Museum. The character's costume in the Titanic reflects what the costume designer Deborah Lynn Scott was trying to portray the characters as. The lower class characters are wearing basic baggy looking clothing, while the first class characters were wearing very elegant clothing. And the costumes of the movie Titanic brings the time period, which is 1912, to life. The clothing is very similar to the actual style of 1912, and the characters' personalities fit the costume. The extravagant costumes of the higher class characters show how the wealthy lifestyle was very classy back then in 1912. So next we have this reasons of character chosen, and I've chose this black and white pinstripe boarding dress because this costume gave me the deepest impression, as Rose was wearing this beautiful, ultra chic and glamorous pinstripe boarding suit costume when we were first introduced to her in the first scene of Titanic. And the colors pair beautifully with the black and white patterns and pinstripe, and the details on the dress are immaculate, and the black belted waist highlights her fabulous figure. So this is how I did it on the doll. We have this black belted waist with long and tight sleeves and black and white patterns and pinstripe, but I couldn't find the exact same fabric, so instead I've used this blue and white, which is very much close to the fabric I chose, and we have black and white color. So yeah, we will pass it to my groupmates Evelyn. Thank you.
Thank you, Mei Tong. So now I'll continue to talk about the reasons for my character chosen. I've chosen the same character but with different costume. which is the green lace and floral waistband gown. I've choose this because I personally like the lace layering around her skirt and also the lace featured around her shoulders and her arms which shows a feminine outlook. So the empire waist with narrow skirt was featured with a green tea color and a red floral band around her waist which highlights her body figure. So this dress was worn for her first first lunch aboard the Titanic, and it was also the dress where Jack first spotted Rose aboard the ship. So this is how my doll looks. Um, through the research, I actually didn't really find lots of infos about this dress. So for some of the infos, I just predicted myself with my knowledge on the fashion trend on during this era. So for the green tee and the red waistband, it was made from silk satin. So I just made it with the satin ribbon, both of it, and I also added the organza ribbon under the white lace. So for the flower, I made it with tissue. I just tear it piece by piece and just fix it together and colored it with the orange, and two pieces of leaves made from paper. So as you can see, the background is from the actual movie scene, which is the balcony where Rose is standing and when Jack first spotted her there. Next, the significant silhouette during this era 1912, as mentioned, is also known as Edwardian era. So the silhouette on this era is more columnar compared to the previous years. It's like a cylindrical shape, somehow like the Empire line, with a slightly raised waistline and a smooth fit over the hips and a full-length skirt. The sleeves are fairly fitted with no gathers at the top, and undergarments are also worn during this era to support the dress. So the common undergarments are like chemise, corsets cover and drawers and also petticoats. And by 1907, there's a new fashion trend where a longer line corset become fashionable, and the corset almost reaching the knees, making the figure look more slimmer. Furthermore, for what I've observed from the movie, women wore evening gowns for dinner with white gloves and paired with leather or satin shoes. Gowns are usually made from fabrics like chiffon or light-weighted satin, often decorated with lace or beadworks. The necklines were open and sleeves are short and also light-weighted. As mentioned before, the waistline was slightly raised and skirts was full length, which fits smoothly over the hips. Skirts are often layered with chiffon and fine lace over satin. Day dress are usually had long sleeves, fitted to the arm, and it's featured with one-piece dress in silk or cotton. They also wear tailored suits for vacation, like for our chosen costume, the black and white boarding dress. On the other hand, men wore white tie with the tailcoat for dinner, and their shoulder paddings decreased, waist narrowed, and their pants tapered. Alright, so to summarize, it's quite a great experience to work with Mei Tong on this final doll assignment, as it's our first time creating a dress for a doll, And we also get a chance to do some research on this iconic movie Titanic. So I hope we get to submit our assignment successfully by the end of the day. So that's all from us. Thank you for listening.